Welcome to issue 278 of Critical Encounters, a podcast about Marvel Champions, a living card game by Fantasy Flight Games. Here, we take a good look at that most critical piece of the game, the encounter sets. We'll discuss those poorly understood characters, unfairly labeled villains, and their various plans to shape humanity and benefit the planet, as well as those so-called heroes intent on thwarting them. I am one of your hosts, Bill, the board game lawyer, and joining me this evening, as always, is our leader, Steve. Steve, how are you tonight?
Ashnaj derbataluk, Ashnaj grimbatul, Ashnaj thrakatuluk, Ashburzi ishi grimpatul. That's how I'm doing.
I'm hoping that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's it's one thing for sure. So
okay, well,
okay,
maybe we get a translator for that. Maybe our translator for us this evening is our good friend Darcy. Darcy's with us tonight. How you doing, Darcy?
Avada-kedavra! I'm good, thanks.
no,
What do you mean?
that
no?
wasn't the same. It's not the same. It's not the same.
Is it not the same?
It's not the same.
Is it not two people putting their souls into different things? I think it's the same.
I guess. Okay.
It's totally the same.
Is it from that
All
Willow
right.
movie?
Continuing on.
Yeah. Okay.
What is
so
going on here?
Bill is here, and James is here, and Daniel is not here, and Mike's not here, and we don't need them because I have you guys. So thanks for coming on.
No Winkster. What?
No, Josh was done last week. Josh
Okay.
finished up last week. So
I don't know if I could survive another week.
I'm
still in pain from yesterday.
Wait, with or without him? Which one can't you survive?
I can survive without him. I could not do another edit through a Josh show. I just couldn't do it. Couldn't handle
Steve, tonight, just relax. Sit back in your chair. Everything's fine.
it. Good.
Everything will go well.
I suspect I'll have to use the cap language bleep a lot less with the two of you than I did with him. So, yeah.
All right.
I can do my best if you want.
That sounds like a challenge.
No. Come on.
That
You guys
sounds
gotta
like... Come on,
behave.
Darcy.
Behave yourself. Behave
All
yourself.
right, let's go.
I didn't even think was a
Language.
Well, you say it that way.
have fun.
Oh.
All right. Well, Steve,
Yeah.
Daniel's not here. So
Correct.
we need to find out what is on your mind tonight.
Oh, my mind instead of Daniel's. Yeah. So as Daniel would say, it's gratitude. Gratitude is on my mind because I want to give a Patreon thank you. We haven't done one of these in a little while. We still have a bunch of patrons to thank.
Sure.
So I want to thank Andrew P., a longtime patron member. And, we're working our way through the list. And Andrew, it's your turn. Thank you very, very much. But, when we do these, we have to give every one of these minions a job of some kind. And I was looking around the layer and I was trying to think of what sort of task do we need here? And it hit me. We need somebody to reupholster all the furniture in this layer. I mean, we've heard about that chair. So we definitely need some new covers on that chair.
That chair was new when it was new.
It was.
I remember
true.
it. I remember it when it was new.
Yeah, you are.
I don't know what the
you've
heck
been around
happened.
that long. Yeah.
What I don't understand is we should really be going down. I'm pretty sure we've got some old hero, they're not in them, but we've got some old hero costumes. Those things last. We should give it over to Andrew. Maybe he could upholster them with old bits of, so-called hero. Yeah.
Yeah. That does bring up the we have this footstool over here, an ottoman that has got this red, white, and blue circle with a star motif on it, which I'd like to change that one out. That bothers me. It's too Steve Rogers. So maybe we could reupholster that. And then there's a couch in the lounge that we found in the sewers that had all those pizza boxes piled up, and there were some nunchucks nearby. That one just kind of smells like wet turtle. So maybe we can reupholster that one too while we're at it.
And who took all the beans out of the bag chair?
Yeah.
Where'd
It's just
that
a
go?
bag. It's just a bag.
Yeah.
It's not a bean bag anymore. It's just bag.
Yeah,
So-
it's not even comfortable anymore.
Yeah. Maybe you can get some
Something's
more
happening.
beans. So-
Yeah, we need beans in there.
Yeah, I think Josh took the beans. Anyways, so Andrew, thank you. please get to work reupholstering everything. Like we could use drapes and curtains and bed linens and pillowcases, any kind of cloth material like that in the lair. Please get to work getting us a nice refresh. So thanks, and thank you to all our patrons. We really do appreciate it. It helps keep the show running. Like we say, keeps the lights on here in the lair. But we really do appreciate folks doing that for us. But let's not talk about that anymore. Let's talk about what we're here for, right?
All right. Yep. Some origin stories tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna do a modular set. We
Yeah.
we don't have Daniel here to throw us off track. We don't have Josh here to distract us. So, Bill, why don't you tell us all about this modular set? Laura, we're gonna talk about Sauron.
Yeah, and I like the way you kind of mixed it up this time, Steve. We're talking about Sauron tonight. So Sauron, who is Sauron? Let's find out. So Sauron is the title character and the main antagonist of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, where he rules the land of Mordor. He has the ambition of ruling the whole of Middle-earth using the power of the One Ring, which he has lost and seeks to recapture. Sauron appears most often as the Eye, as if disembodied.
Bill?
Yeah.
James, you know, are we on the right topic? It feels like we're not.
Is there something wrong?
I thought that he was going to be talking about Aragorn, that horse thing.
Oh, the
No.
horse thing from Valkyrie's pack? No, that's like a hero card. We wouldn't do that.
No.
No.
Steve, when he sent me the email, he says, get some lore together about Sauron, and so that's what I did. As I put together some lore on Sauron. So just
I prepared how I think that this is a literary connection with Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter with Lord Voldemort. I'm ready.
Yeah. So that is who Sauron is, though, right? He's the one of the main characters. You know, Steve, you and I, that's one of the other things that we have in common is we enjoy talking about Lord of the Rings and things like that. So, you know, when you asked me to talk about Sauron, I got pretty excited about it, but I'm guessing you're really wanting me to talk about Sauron and Marvel Comics.
Yeah, there's a mutant from Marvel Comics that I think we should talk about.
Well, I'll just pivot there for a second,
please,
and see what we can learn from this fella. So, Sauron in Marvel Comics, his real name is Dr. Karl Lykos, and his first appearance was on the very last page of X-Men number 59, all the way back in June of 1969. So he's been around for quite some time, right? Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, he's been around for over 50 years. And so some of his nicknames are Jurassic Clark. Fitting, because this week we had the Jurassic Park movie come out. Did you guys have plans to see that? I know this is maybe taking place after, but are you guys check it out?
You know, as much as those Jurassic Park movies are like an iconic nerd culture thing, I've seen like the first original one, and that's it. So, yeah, that's it. I've never seen any of the other ones.
I've watched all of the recent ones at the behest of my son. Sorry, y'all. It felt like I was blown back into like an 80s movie sensitivities. Not for me.
Okay. Well, this one's like a crossover.
Downer for a podcast. So yeah, I've watched all of them. They are sweet. Sauron sweeping around, or at least a guy that looks like Sauron. You know.
I was gonna say, we timed this properly and right. So
that was the idea, right?
Mm-hmm,
So Jurassic Park. Clark is his name. Another one is Rodan. Fans of science fiction may remember Rodan as being one of Godzilla's frenemies. I think he was given that by was it Jubilee? I think Jubilee gave him that name. Anyway, who is Dr. Karl Lykos? Well, he's a doctor who specializes in hypnotherapy. And so that's another question for you, Steve. Our Armenian health insurance, does it cover hypnotherapy? Is that included this year?
What's this word you said? Insurance?
Hypnotherapy?
Health insurance?
Health insurance, Armenian health insurance. We all have that, right?
Why don't you tell us more about Jurassic Clark?
Okay. Anyway, Dr. Lykos is from Argentina, and equally, he is a human pteranodon hybrid. Now, I realize you guys know what a human is, but do you know what a pteranodon is? What is a pteranodon? Think he is? Bueller?
Is that
no
like a tourist dinosaur?
Dinosaur. It's a dinosaur. Yeah. And so It is a 6-foot toothless flying lizard with a 30-foot wingspan from the late Cretaceous period, million years ago. But apparently, a mutant variety of these can still be found in the southernmost part of Argentina because that's where a young Carl Lycos was attacked and bitten by one of these guys.
Wait, he was bit. This is a vampire situation? Werewolf?
Yeah, he was bitten by. Well, in comics, when you get bit by an animal, that means that now that you have to take on its characteristics. It's kind of
Oh,
that's kind of what happens when you get bit by something in the comics.
oh, shoot!
But
I got.
yeah,
Hmm. All right.
be careful.
Yeah.
Let's back up for a moment, though. As a young boy, Carl Lycos went with his father on an expedition near the Antarctic Circle. Now, along with them on the journey was a physician, Dr. Anderson, and his daughter, Tanya, who was about the same age as Carl. Now, at one point during the trip, Tanya got lost, and Carl found her in a cave being attacked by gigantic mutant pteranodons. Now, in fending off these monsters, Carl gets attacked, and he's rendered unconscious. And after some time, he comes to, but he's very severely weakened. And as he begins to stir, his dog recognizes that he's in distress. And so for those of us who are animal lovers who have pets, we know that oftentimes when we're down and we're sad and we're not feeling well, oftentimes our animals are right there to comfort us. And Carl's dog picked up on the fact that he was now in distress. But in this case, as his puppy drew near, Carl reaches out with both hands, grabs the dog by the head, and begins siphoning the life energy out of its dog.
Oh,
Yeah.
poor
That's
dog.
mean.
Yeah. Well, Carl recovers. The dog survives barely, but never again would his dog come near him after that.
Reasonable.
So it's really from this point on that Carl Lycos would have the need to drain energy from others in order to keep up his strength. It, like you said, Steve, it turned him into a vampire, so to speak. Now, earlier I talked about on that expedition that led to all of this, that on that expedition was Dr. Anderson and his daughter Tanya, who was the young girl that got lost. Now, over time, as they grew up, Carl and Tanya would become an item, but Tanya's dad, well, he was a wealthy doctor, and he wanted the best for his daughter. And Carl, let's just say, was not exactly what Tanya's father had in mind. Carl wasn't a man of great means. He wasn't the captain of the football team. He wasn't an all-star. He wasn't rich. In fact, he was kind of a nerdy introvert. And also, another fact is, in one of the panels, in one of the comics, you can clearly see him reading The Fellowship of the Ring.
Ooh, nice.
Yes.
Now, on top of that, he has this condition, right? His continued vitality depends upon him sucking the life from others. So that's not going to make him very popular in most circles, not going to make many friends doing that. But Carl becomes determined to prove himself to Tanya and her father, so he leaves with this promise to come back, and he sets his own sights on becoming a doctor himself. So what kind of a doctor? Well, one that specializes in hypnotherapy. So he hypnotizes other people, which is actually very convenient for him because under hypnosis, he can proceed to drain the life out of others without them even knowing. And that's what you see him doing in that last frame of issue 59 of the X-Men. But what does all this have to do with him becoming a flying reptile, you may ask?
What does all this have to do with him becoming a flying reptile, I ask?
Thank you. Here's where that comes in. Dr. Carl Lycos was at one point a colleague of Professor X. Now, during X-Men number 59, Professor X is not around anymore, and I can't remember exactly why. I don't know if he's dead or mostly dead, or if he's
On
in another
vacation?
solar. Yeah, somewhere
Yeah,
else.
okay.
You know.
He encountered stairs.
Yeah, he's gone. I don't know where he's at. Maybe visiting his girlfriend in another solar system. But Charles makes Dr. Lycos the emergency contact for the X-Men if he's not around.
Okay.
So yeah, so he's like, give this guy a call if I'm not available. So well, the X-Men got into a bad scuffle with the Sentinels. Havoc, who is Cyclops' brother, pushes himself to the max and nearly kills himself with his own mutant ability, and now he's unconscious. So the X-Men contact the good doctor, and they bring Alex or Havoc to him, and the doctor promises to help him, but dismisses everyone, telling them, just go home, get some rest. He even dismisses his assistant. But really, this is the moment that Carl was waiting for, because even in his weakened state, Havok is still a very powerful mutant, and so Dr. Lycos begins draining the energy from Havok. But something different happens this time. Now he changes into that terrible likeness that we see on his card. He turns into this pteranodon hybrid human thing, and his personality changes. And although he maintains his intelligence, he now develops the animalistic traits of this prehistoric monster, and he turns to true evil. And then he would, at that time, adopt the name of the arch villain from the books that he loved so much growing up. He takes on the name Sauron. Now, after making this transformation, he takes to the sky to use his newfound strength and ability to do what any other true villain would do. He does some breaking and taking. Right?
Of
He's
course.
stealing
Keeping it
money.
old school.
He's breaking into banks. Taking from, and that's how he's going to get his millions, is by stealing as a dinosaur. But obviously, it's going to make the news if a dinosaur is breaking into the bank, and so this catches the attention.
It might.
It probably
on camera.
doesn't,
It depends on. Right,
Yeah.
it depends on where you are, right? I mean, which city? If it's New York City, it's like whatever,
And like
Yeah.
new Jurassic World movies, I'm sure there's dinosaurs everywhere. Who
Right,
cares?
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not news.
And some are going to take advantage, right? Well, he certainly does, and so it catches the attention of the X-Men, and particularly it annoys Angel, because now the news is talking about the X-Men. They're painting them in a very bad light, and so this is another
Yeah.
flying mutant.
So he doesn't like his territory encroached on.
Yeah, he's getting a bad
It's
rap
selfish.
over this.
Yeah, it's selfish.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
see.
So Angel takes to the skies after him, and but what we find out is that Sauron's other abilities, like his ability to hypnotize others, gets amplified as well with his new powers. So just looking into his eye, the eye of Sauron, he can immediately hypnotize his enemies. But as Havok begins to wake up back in the lab, Sauron then begins to change back to his human form. So in order to go back to being a winged creature, he would then again have to drain the energy from a mutant. And this is how his story goes. He ends up in the Savage Land. The X-Men end up in the Savage Land often. There's mutants who live in the Savage Land, as well as dinosaurs, where he can feel right at home. And so that's really the origin of Sauron. Also,
So his power. So if he drains the life of a human, he stays a human. If he drains the life of a mutant, he mutates into his Sauronian version.
That's
and
right.
That's a pun
exactly
here, right? Like a dinosaur, a Sauron. Okay.
And I might have missed it before, and I don't really need a reason for this. You said that he turned to evil. Is there a reason why? He doesn't need a reason why. I mean, it rocks, but
Yeah, he gets it. He finally gets it.
Cool.
Okay.
I
There's the
get it.
evil.
Right.
So this is the origin of Sauron. So we know that he can absorb other people's powers. He also has the energy blast ability. He has superhuman strength. He has durability, reflexes. He can fly. He's got claws and a beak. He also has fire breath, along with hypnosis and telekinesis. So he does have a wide range of superhuman abilities in his arsenal, as we oftentimes find out with these mutants. Right?
So he's not really a pterosaur. He's a dragon. So he can breathe fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever they need for the story, he can become that.
He can do it. Okay, cool.
And I know that one of the stories where he was in the Savage Land. Now the Savage Land is in it's like a tropical area of Antarctica,
which we will talk about coming up.
Yeah, that's still coming up on the docket, right? So, but one of the mutants that he comes across in one of those storylines that he sucks the power from is Iceman, and so that could be maybe a possible reason why he's included in the back of the pack. Of Iceman. So
that makes sense. Yep.
But anyway, that's our story. That's our origin.
That's pretty good. He's a very interesting character.
Yeah. It helps to know what's the deal with this flying dinosaur.
What's the deal with this guy?
Yeah, because that's what I asked. I remember getting him as a hero click, and he's sitting on the table, and I'm like, he just doesn't look like the rest of the bunch here. It's like, why do we got this dinosaur in the middle of the game?
Yeah.
So, but that's why.
Okay, interesting, cool. We could all use a life draining, flying dinosaur, fire breathing buddy on any good mutant team. So,
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, Toad, whenever he ran the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, yeah, he tried really hard to bait Sauron into his fold. So yeah, he was sought after, you know.
Question, and you kind of left this hanging. Does he ever get the girl?
You know, it, I don't think so.
Okay,
Because he ends up,
that's
I mean, just as a spoiler, he ends up killing her father later. So yeah,
mm,
it's
okay.
kind of that makes it hard. Who's going to walk her down? Who's going to walk her down the aisle?
Yeah, but he's got hypnosis. You know what I mean? Like,
All right,
Yeah,
just make her forget he did that.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
boy,
yeah,
that's really problematic. That's
yeah.
like Professor X and all his mind wipes. Okay.
What do you mean? Problem
yeah.
solved. Hypnosis.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
let's look
I-
at the bright side of Sauron. Let's
Yeah.
not. Yeah. Let's
Yes.
keep it.
Let's ignore that part, guys, and move on to the good parts.
Ignore that part, Steve. Move on to the good part.
All right, let's talk about some cards then.
That's the good
So-
parts.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right. So Sauron comes in the Age of Apocalypse wave. He's in the back of Iceman's pack, like Bill said. 6 total cards, 4 by title. It's not suggested or required in any scenario, but I think you have to use it. Like if you're playing Savage Lands, right? You just like can augment that
Oh,
just
yeah.
for fun.
You got to
But-
stick him in there.
Yeah. Bill, why don't you tell us about the big flaming eye himself?
Sauron, the minion, has a scheme of 2, an attack of 2. He has 6 health. He is the Brotherhood of Mutants. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for the life drain attachment and reveal it. And if he's drawn as a boost, he's got a special boost. And it's heal 3 damage from the activating enemy and give it a tough status card. That's pretty cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
I like that. A little something
it's like-
different.
Little life drainy feel to
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that it's Brotherhood of Mutants and not Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. It's like designers got it. Designers
Yeah,
finally get
that's-
it. Like it's
Yeah,
just
they're
biased.
biased. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
total bias.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to look at this card with the next card. So, James, why don't you read the next card, then we can talk about them as a pair.
I would love to. So, searching the encounter deck and discard pile for life drain attachment, you say? Well,
Mm.
how about the life drain attachment? This is a superpower, and it says attach to the minion with the highest printed hit points. It activates against you. If no minion activated this way, this card gains surge. And we have a nice little forced interrupt. When attached enemy attacks you, take 2 damage and give the attacking enemy a tough status card. And it has 2 boosts. It does not give any boost to their attacks. It is a forced interrupt instead that then you take 2 damage and give them a tough status card.
Yeah.
Like it. That's really cool.
Sauron comes out. This gets revealed. It says reveal it. So
Mhm.
this immediately attaches to him and he attacks you. So it's like built-in quick strike sort of thing. He initiates the attack. The interrupt goes off. You take 2 damage. So you can't block. It's not indirect, anything like that. He gets tough, and then he's still attacking you for 2. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a nice combo.
Well, it's the fact that it really is that the take 2 damage part is just great. Oh, I got my tough card, I'm feeling good. Boom. Forced interrupt. When they attack me, take 2 damage. Okay, that stinks. Oh, he still hit me with another 2. Just there's
Yeah.
no way around it. It's great. Love
Right.
that.
And then Sauron gaining a tough means he's preventing any retaliate or stuff like that as well, right at that moment too. So
Mhm.
if that exists on your character.
And if
Yeah.
no minion activated this way, this card gains surge. Something's always going to happen. Might not be this, but something's going to happen. It can't whiff. It can whiff, but at least we get the next card.
Right. Yep.
It just says attached to the minion with the highest printed hit points. Now, oftentimes Sauron, who's got 6 already, that's kind of upper echelon, right? But there could be a minion out there with a lot higher hit points and a much bigger attack. So
Yeah.
if this gets thrown on like a dragon or something like that, his big brother, look out, because it's going to hit
right.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, because Sauron. Okay, so Sauron, you draw shadows of you draw Sauron out of the deck.
Right.
I was reading this wrong. I was reading it as like it was going to go on Sauron automatically, but you're right. It's just reveal
Right.
life drain. So there could be a different, there could be a Thunderbolt out. There could be
Oh,
a Prelate out. There could be Tombstone. He's got more, right? Could be somebody like that. So this will attach to that other character and then go off.
yeah.
Yeah, I was
Exactly.
thinking that Sauron would get it from his one revealed, but really he just reveals it and somebody else is doing it. Could possibly do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Something really nasty comes at you. And it gets a tough card, which makes
Yeah.
that minion even more
Yep.
difficult to get rid of. So
I mean, in
I really
solo,
like the life
every
drain.
time it's getting a tough card. It's great. It does feel a bit weird to me that it goes on to other minions. In some ways, it feels like it should have gone on to me, or it should have gone on to the hero in a way, and it should be taking the damage from them and giving the tough status card straight to Sauron. But don't mind jacking
Yeah.
for another minion. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a little weird that it could end up on a completely different minion, but it's Sauron who's doing the life draining.
Like an aim
it's his-
scientist comes out. Actually, maybe that's actually an aim scientist sounds pretty good. So maybe not.
Yeah, that aim scientists never have. Well, okay, could have the hit points depending on
And
the
it
timing.
thematically sounds interesting for them to be draining your life. So I take it back. It's cool for anyone to drain some life from you.
It would be neat if there was a way to like fetch Sauron and reveal him.
Oh,
that would be
Bill,
kind of cool.
That would be
so far-sighted of you. Because there is a card here, a side scheme called Sauron Live. When Dr. Lycos absorbs mutant energy, he transforms into the terrifying Sauron. So this is a 3-threat side scheme, 3 boost icons, a crisis icon, and the when defeated. The player who defeated the scheme searches the encounter deck and discard pile for Sauron and deals him to themselves as a face-down encounter card. There you go.
Means he's gonna be revealed.
Yeah.
Not just gonna end up put into play. So he's gonna get life drain again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He comes out a face-down encounter card, so you know it's there at least. So that might build a little dread, right? It's like, oh man, it's gonna, when's it coming out? So
But we
that's cool.
don't have a way of the nice thing about that is that we don't have a way of getting rid of that encounter card yet in the game, right? Heroes don't have a way of looking at the one in front of them and saying, you know what? Don't really want that one. I'm gonna deal with that before it comes to me.
No, I mean, there's a few ways to cancel some cards, mostly treacheries, or to cycle the card with a couple different, options. There's a few heroes that have a few of those abilities. But yeah, there's the new shield card too, like Intelligence, where you get to shuffle them around amongst all the players. In a multiplayer game, you could move him to somebody else if you wanted to.
Intelligence. I don't play this game for intelligence. Cheating.
I know, right? I think that's what it's called.
That's for people that have read the rules.
Well, since when do heroes have intelligence? But yeah, for the most part, I think 98% of the time, it's going to sit there and then it's going to get you. So
nice.
I like that it just comes out with 3 health, or I'm sorry, 3 threat on it, and it has the crisis. So you can't ignore it for very long. Crisis icons are ones that are meant to be dealt with pretty quickly because you can't take anything off the main scheme. So yeah, somebody's going to get dealt Sauron if that's possible, and it comes from the encounter deck or the discard pile.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and then he's coming out, so life drain's coming out.
I see what they're doing.
Oh, you see what they're doing?
I do.
See?
I get the idea.
How can you see it? How can you see it, Bill?
I can see it with 3 eyes. All 3 eyes. The eye of Sauron. There's 3 of these. These are treachery cards in this kit. And they have a when revealed ability. It says discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Top 3 cards instead if Sauron is in play. For each resource icon discard this way, do the following. And so if it's an energy resource, it's place 1 threat on the main scheme. If it's a mental resource, discard 1 card from your hand. Ooh. And if it's a strength icon, then you deal 1 damage to your identity. And if it's a wild, it says exhaust a character you control.
So good.
Yeah. And so you toss 2, possibly 3 cards.
Yeah.
And nowadays we're seeing more characters with multiple resource icons on them. So,
Yeah, right? Like Gambit,
like
Magneto, Bishop, Rocket. Yeah, there's a bunch of them that have the double resource. Yeah.
Yeah. So you end up if
Domino?
Sauron's on the table. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's cool because it's you're gonna do 2. I mean, they're small things, right? 1 threat isn't like crazy. 1 damage can be annoying if you've got tough. The exhausted character can be real frustrating coming up, and then discarding a card from your hand is always, nobody likes to do that. So
None of them are crazy until they are, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I know that sounds obvious, but you all of these are totally like lost condition things. Oh, I can win if I may. I can. Oh, I can't exhaust. Oh, I lost my card. Oh, he pinged me. Oh, there's this. Like they totally can
Yep.
end a game.
Yep.
It just might not seem like it. And there's 3 of them. It's great.
I'm the one that always runs around with like 1 health. And Steve, you're stopping me. You're like, hey, Bill, might need to flip.
And we let the crisis sit there, so the threat on the main is going up a little bit too far, and then the more threat coming out. Yeah.
I hate discarding cards. That's the
That's
worst.
the worst one. That's the worst
That
one.
that messes up
The
your
best
plan.
one. That's the best one.
Yeah, that's the best one.
Yeah. I like the way they did this card too. Like it has a kicker if Sauron's in play, but it still does something if he's not. So like you don't have to have him out, because there's some cards it's like, I don't know. They only really trigger if their specific minion is out, and those kind of stink because there's not any fun. This one's just a little bit worse if he's there, which is cool. So.
And the art is beautiful for all of them as well.
Yeah.
Really nice art. All comic book art for this mod set.
If nothing else, it's very intimidating to get this card dealt to you when you look into the eye of Sauron. It's pretty cool.
Now, should there only be one of them? I mean, it's called the Eye of Sauron. It's not the Eyes of Sauron, but okay, whatever.
He's flapping around. You keep catching his eye,
Okay.
I don't think it's actually dealing you his eye,
All right. I was thinking it's the 3-eyed raven, but that's a completely different IP. So yeah, we can't go there too. Okay, so this is a fun little modular set, not required anywhere, not even suggested someplace. Where is this more fun to play? Do you guys have you used this set? Where have you used this set? Where have you had good luck as a villain with this set?
I have played with this. Yeah.
Oh, phew.
I really like this one. So, I have like a little stack of ones that are my favorites, and this is in one of my favorite stacks. So, just one to shuffle in.
My first instincts for sure would just throw it in with, some pterosaurs and raptors immediately. I need to explore in other things with clearly the Brotherhood of Mutants a little bit more often.
Yeah, I was gonna say play it with some Brotherhood. Obviously, you could put it in something like the Hood. Its boost effects. I mean, most the Eye of Saurons are just 1s, so they're not really very strong boost effects. So I don't think it like plays great in say something as simple as Claw, because you're not doing a ton there.
And I noticed some of these back of the pack cards fetch each other. Like that was the case with Exodus. That was the case with Arcade. The back of the pack modular sets are ones that you can add in as a +1, and because they do a lot of like in this case, if you defeat Sauron lives, and that goes and fetches Sauron, which goes and grabs the life drain. So really, by adding all these extra cards to the encounter deck, even if you're going above the recommended number of encounters, it doesn't. Whenever they trigger, they kind of deplete themselves, so they don't feel like they're watering down your deck so much. But it does feel like they're very thematic because they do all work together like that. So that's the back of the pack modular sets are ones that I really love. The Crazy Gang and all those different ones are ones that they really work well together, and they don't feel like they're overwhelming my deck, or even in solo play.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Every one of these cards really does feel like Sauron's flapping around in the back over here. Every time it pops out, it just feels like Sauron's joined in with the villain.
Yep. Yeah, he's affecting you from far away, right? He's around. He's on the battlefield somewhere. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
All right, so if we're gonna rate it, we're gonna give it a rating. We got to give it our letter grade. Bill, you the man tonight. What do you give it?
I give it 3 out of 3 eyes.
Oh, okay.
My letter grade is an I.
An I. Okay.
Yes, I love it.
It's got a good pun. Can't pass it up. All right. Yeah, great. Sauron. We've got our little Lord of the Rings set here. Our dino our Jurassic World. It's like it's hitting every note. So
Yeah.
I don't know
All
if
the
there's
pop
more to say.
cultures.
Yeah.
No, give it a try.
Yeah, I'd like to hear from the listeners if you've used this set, if you've had good luck with it, if you had bad luck with it, where is a good spot to use it? Please let us know. And you can do so by emailing us at criticalencounterspod@gmail.com. We're Critical Encounters on Facebook, and you can find our YouTube, Twitch, or Patreon by searching for Critical Encounters Podcast. And on Discord, we are Vardane, a board game lawyer, and RC. If you like our show, tell your friends. If you don't like our show, tell your enemies. Sauron, take us out.
But I don't want to cure cancer. I want to turn people into dinosaurs.
It's a weird accent.
That's my Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, okay.
Terrible.
It is bad. That was bad.
Good.
Killer.
That is good.
Absolutely killer.
Nobody knows that's what it was. Okay.
Oh yeah. Somebody might.